welcome to Community Insight Broadcast, a ministry of Churches Outreach Network. My name is Denisha Harris, and I'm here with Ms. Liz McDowell, who's with Catholic Charities. Welcome to the show, Ms. McDowell.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the opportunity to chat with us today a little bit about the ministry that you work with. You work with a nonprofit by the name of Catholic Charities. Can you tell us a little bit about this nonprofit?
Catholic Charities is an organization that has been in Greenville since the 80s. We're very instrumental in working with the lower income population, more the disenfranchised, that don't fit quite anywhere. So it's been a wonderful experience thus far.
Wonderful. Great. And so before we get further into Catholic Charities, just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you got to be here in Greenville, North Carolina.
So I always say I'm from a little bit of everywhere. I grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I was active duty military and have traveled around the country and gotten to see a lot of the world. And with that, it brought us to North Carolina. And after I got out of the military, I pursued my education at ECU. And then I was placed as an intern at Catholic Charities. And as an intern, I was in awe of the dignity and the respect that is given to each and every individual that comes through the door. And I told my husband at the time, I was like, if I ever get the opportunity to work here, I'm going to do it. I will drop everything and I will do it because I know that that's where God wants me to be. And I got a call. I was job searching, and I got a call, and there was, hey, there's this position. Would you be interested? I was like, that was it. I knew the timing was perfect. Everything was right where it was supposed to be, and it just worked out.
Wonderful. So you are an ECU pirate.
I am.
Great. We always love to hear that. I am as well. So go Pirates.
Go Pirates.
And so what was your major at ECU?
Social work.
Social work.
Yes.
Very good. Well, mine was sociology.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. So we have a love and desire to help people.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. So you said you did your internship at Catholic Charities.
I did.
Wonderful. And now the opportunity has come that you can work for that organization. So how long have you been working there?
I am going on my almost third full year with Catholic Charities now. So it's been a great experience. I started as a case manager, and now I'm a program director. So it's really been a wonderful opportunity to grow within an organization that has such a great mission.
Wonderful. So Catholic Charities, give us kind of an overview of the organization, what the organization's mission is. For someone who is just joining us and never heard of this institution or this organization, give us that kind of insight into what Catholic Charities is and what they do.
So our mission primarily is providing help and creating hope. And I think we embody that really well with everything that we do, from the moment you come in the door until you leave. Dignity and respect is a big piece of what we do. We try to create a judgment-free area, a safe space to just be. So that's really important to us. Our organization overall, we're connected to the Diocese of Raleigh. And so we have offices all over the eastern side of the state, which is fantastic. Each office is a little bit different, but the mission is still the same. So we have, in the Greenville office, we have a food pantry and a clothing closet, as well as we do disaster case management, and that was how we met Pastor Coles, or part of how we got involved with Pastor Coles. And then we also have we're working on financial wellness workshops, and then we're developing a kinship program that we're really excited about.
Great. So you mentioned that your mission is providing help, creating hope. I love that mission because I think there are a lot of individuals in our communities that need that need help, and they need hope. Hope that things will get better. You also mentioned that your regional offices are a little bit different based upon, I assume, the region.
Right.
So can you help us with how this particular office here in Eastern Carolina addresses the specific needs of Eastern Carolina?
Well, here in Greenville, we've been affected by hurricanes. Matthew, we're still in the midst of recovering from Matthew. There's still families that are not quite stable as of yet. So we're a big piece of that. Then we've got Florence recovery, and so we're in Washington doing a lot of work there. And then immigration is also another key piece that we have going on. So we have individuals that come into the Pitt County office or Greenville office and get their immigration stuff straightened around so that they are legal citizens and work through the process and the system. And that's biggest part of what we do.
Great. So you do have an office located here in Greenville?
Yes.
Okay. Where's your office located?
Our office is 2780 Dickinson Avenue. If you know where the North Carolina Lottery office is, you can find us.
Okay, very good. So, in listening to you talk a little bit about what you do working with immigration, working with those who are victims of the disasters that we've had, Hurricane Matthew and even Hurricane Florence, I'm hearing that you're doing some one-on-one assistance, but also some advocacy in Washington, D.C.?
No, Little Washington, I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're doing we've got case management starting there, and so that's a big piece. We've got at least 40 cases that we're working just right there. So trying to get people back into that place of comfort and having an HVAC unit that works, that they can turn on the furnace when it's cold, is a really big piece and very important.
Very good. So folks who may need your services, do you require them to go to the federal government first and maybe get FEMA assistance, or can they come to you with any of their needs?
They can start with us. We're going to route them through FEMA depending on their situation. So that we can see that at least they've tried, even if they've been rejected from FEMA, we can still assist. Once we have just that letter of rejection that they tried to get assistance, we're still able to pick up the ball and help carry them, walk with them, I should say, through the process.
Very good. So when I think about disaster recovery, you mentioned, folks may need heat. They may need those basic needs with food, like the food pantry, right. Clothing, with the clothing that you guys provide. What other resources do you provide individuals, even outside of disaster relief?
So sometimes it's just a matter of connecting someone with another resource. We are fortunate to have the PRC network and everything else.
And define for the listening audience what PRC is.
PRC is Pitt Community Resource Connection, or Pitt Resource Connection, sorry. And it gives us an opportunity to meet all together and have a kind of a collection of resources in one spot. So we have that connection with those guys, and it helps us connect. You could have someone come in and they might have a need, and we have this connection that, oh, you know what, so-and-so has this program, and we're able to connect them. We don't have often all the resources, but we at least are able to connect someone with a resource that might be of assistance, continuing the line of hope and that kind of thing. Because funding and everything else is always limited, so we have to do the best, and we have great community partners here, and we're stronger together.
Wonderful. That is exactly true. Exactly right. And I think that's the kind of the overall strategy of CON as well, Churches Outreach Network, that working together with you guys at Catholic Charities, perhaps there's a resource that you have that CON doesn't have, and perhaps there's a resource that CON has that you may not be privy to. So we can help each other, if you will, as we help the community.
Yes,
so that's
definitely.
a really good opportunity there. So you mentioned that you have specific ministries that you're looking at, the food bank or food pantry that you have, also the clothing closet, did you also say?
Yes, we have a clothing closet. It's all based on donations. So whatever we receive in donations goes out to whoever is in need of it most. So our clothing closet runs Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 until 12, and then from 1 until 3:30. And so with that, we're able to serve our population. Our food pantry is on Tuesdays. So you can always come in on Tuesday and get clothing and canned food. We do food every 30 days. One family gets served every 30 days. And we also hand out a resource sheet with other additional resources because we know that often what we give is not going to be enough. But Pitt County is a very fortunate county, and we have a lot of resources here. So there again, we work together.
Sounds good. So if a person wanted to reach out to your organization and get help, how would they do that?
They can come in or they can call. So come into the office. Like I said, if you can find the North Carolina Lottery office, we are just up the block office building from them. Or you can call and get any information. Our phone number is 252-355-5111. And if we can't pick up your call, especially on a Tuesday, leave a message and we promise we will call you back.
Great. So is it just yourself or are there other individuals working in the office?
No, we are fortunate. I have our family case manager who's bilingual, and then we have our office manager who's bilingual, and then we have great interns who support us through the school year, and some amazing volunteers.
Wonderful. Great. And so I believe in an earlier conversation, you mentioned that you also have Hispanic outreach. Can you talk a little bit about that?
We do. We have a women's group that meets once a month. And like every month is a new forum and it's a learning environment. So whatever we can bring to the table, resources that are in the community, bring them all together and then have it in Spanish so it's their native language. They're not trying to adapt and they don't misunderstand. It's a beautiful thing to see. We have a great group of ladies that come in. This week we have Santa coming and they're going to do some Christmas activities and all of that stuff, so it's really exciting. I've heard Mrs. Claus is going to be here, so we're very excited about all that. And then it gives us an opportunity. Last month we covered immigration. Before that we met with the Greene County Health came in and did health assessments and that kind of thing. So it's been really great for this population who may not know where to go for some of these things to get connected.
Okay, wonderful. So you mentioned a little bit about the Christmas season, and perhaps you all are doing some things particularly for this season, knowing that the need probably is greater during this time of the year.
I don't know. I think our need is great all the way around. I'll be
gotcha.
honest.
Yeah.
It's awesome this time of year because the season of giving is so great. But we still have needs in July.
Yeah.
So it's always a challenge, but it's great. This year we have partnered with Pastor Coles and the church's outreach network, and we're doing Toys for Tots. I want to say we're right in the range of 65 families. We're very excited to be able to serve those families. And we also have our food pantry. We've been scheduling and doubling. Our numbers have doubled in what we're serving in our food pantry. So it's been a really busy time of year.
Great. Okay. So it sounds like you're very passionate about what you do. I think back to the story you mentioned earlier about being in school and having the opportunity to intern and knowing that if the opportunity ever came that you could be employed with this organization, you would take it. So can you tell us a little bit more about your passion for what you do and why you decided to join Catholic Charities?
Well, ever since I was a kid, I had this drive that I wanted to make a difference. And it didn't matter if it was with one person or with 100 people. I just wanted to be there and have that opportunity. And I think that's kind of the mantra for most social workers and people in the helping profession. I was in the military. I joined the military just, to have an impact, to be someone who stood up. And when I left the military, it was, I don't want that to stop. I want to be able to stand in the world and do something. So social work became the choice. I thought I was going to be a nursing major and didn't make it there. And had this midlife college debacle where I changed majors and was all kinds of crazy. But it's been really great to have that experience and the opportunity to be here and to see people every day. There's a new need. It's something different. The other day we had a family come in and they were barefoot, and this was Monday when it was freezing cold and wet and rainy. And those are the people that make you stop and go, I'm blessed but I need to keep doing, and it was okay. What size shoes do I have in my closet? Can I get this person some shoes? Because I have plenty. And so that is just being able to see the world that way has been great to have that opportunity and experience and to know every day how lucky most of us are.
I agree wholeheartedly. It's been my experience working with CON, the same sort of examples of where you see others who are not as fortunate, and it's just a blessing to have the opportunity to give back. So, can you tell us again how we can get in contact with Catholic Charities? How can we reach you?
So if you have any questions, want to get involved, feel free to call us. Our number is 252-355-5111. And you can stop by the office. Our address is 2780 Dickinson, and we're right next to the North Carolina Lottery office.
Great, great. So, can you give us a day in the life? What is your day like? I know no day is ever the same, but could you give us a day in the life of you as a program director?
I think Tuesdays would be our most exciting day to talk about because it's food pantry. So we start first thing 8 o'clock. We're running. We get a donation of bread and bakery items from Harris Teeter. We pick that up. We run to the food bank and we pick up fresh produce when it's available. And we get back to the office and we're packing bags and getting everything ready to go out the door. And then it is literally 10. We've got people stacked up in the office waiting. And so we are hauling bags and coordinating, making sure that we've got this here and that there. And it's really all about just being able the opportunity to serve.
Wonderful. Can you give us an example of what has been the most rewarding experience for you since you've been in this role?
I think one of the most rewarding stories we've seen is a disaster case. And this case had so many ups and downs. And it was a point where they're in our office and they're crying. And because they've got nowhere to live, and they're trying to stay where they were. And there's no heat, there's no water, there's no electricity. And they had no hope. They had been turned down by FEMA and everything else. And it came down to us being our amazing bilingual case manager and myself sitting down and saying, it's going to take a while and it's not going to be perfect, but we are going to get through this and we're going to be right here with you. And this was 8 months in the making, but this person finally made it into their home. Granted, it was right around the time Florence was rolling in, and so there was a whole nother batch of concerns, and it reopens that trauma for these families. But that was probably the greatest thing I've gotten to see yet.
Great. It's wonderful that you get to work every day doing something you love. We hate to see folks that have these needs and are in these predicaments, but understanding that these things will happen, it's wonderful that you are here and your organization is here to help those individuals. Perhaps there's someone listening today that may not be able to work one-on-one as Liz is, but want to help, that still want to be a part of the solution. What would you tell them today? How can they help?
Well, the great thing is there are a lot of organizations here in Pitt County that do a lot of things. And even if it's picking up a can of soup and dropping it in a donation bucket at Harris Teeter or Food Lion, all of those things make a difference. And it's the smallest thing. It sends ripples. So.
Very good. So if they wanted to help Catholic Charities specifically, can they give donations? Are you accepting food donations, monetary donations?
I'll be quite frank and say we have yet to turn anything down. Our clothing closet literally survives on donations. And so those are always great, whether it's clothes, shoes, light housewares, no major furniture. We just don't have the capacity for that. But those items, food is a huge need right now. Canned food, canned vegetables, canned chicken, canned meat, any of that would be helpful because our population, we have doubled our number since last year in what we're serving in our food pantry. And we're trying to make our dollars stretch and use our resources wisely to continue to serve the populations that need it.
Great. And so you're not just serving Greenville and Pitt County, you're serving a larger area. What is that area you're serving?
So Catholic Charities in Greenville has 7 counties that we serve under the Tar River region. So that is Greene County. Give me a minute. I always get hung up here.
No worries.
Halifax, Northampton, Wilson, Edgecombe. I think that's all 7. So those are the counties that we serve. We are not as active as we'd like to be. We have an office of 3. So unfortunately, we cannot be everywhere. But when we get calls from parishes or community partners that are in need, we do what we can to reach those needs.
That's wonderful. Those are a lot of counties, so I understand completely. And folks who need resources in any of those counties can contact you all
Yes.
at the Dickinson Avenue location and
Yes.
receive services.
Yes.
Great. That's wonderful. So tell me a little bit about how you first met Pastor Coles. Everybody has a Pastor Coles story, like how you met. So tell us yours.
Indeed. So Pastor Coles at first was a mythical creature to me. Everybody talks about Pastor Coles, but I had not yet met him. And then I was in my office one day going through financial assistance applications, and he comes in. He just comes walking in the office, and he's like, "How can I help you?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry?" He's like, "Pastor Coles." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, beautiful." And so we have this great conversation, and it was, what can I do for you? And then it was like, well, this is where we are. This is what we're doing. And then before I knew it, we rolled into Hurricane Matthew, and we became partners with the long-term recovery group and everything else. So it's been an amazing journey. And then doing Toys for Tots with them this year, we're just thankful that we have such a great organization that supports us.
Great. So again, it sounds like we're an organization that is a true partner. We help each other with the same common goal and mission of helping the community.
Right.
So this is a really great partnership. I'm so happy to have met you. I think this is our first time having a chance to sit down and chat. So very good. So let's revisit again what your ministries are under Catholic Charities. Tell us who you're reaching out to and the services you provide.
So the population that we strive to serve are those who are usually at the end of their rope and have nowhere else to go. Those are the ones that find their way to our office. We strive to help those in need, and it doesn't matter who they are or where they come from. You don't have to be Catholic to come to Catholic Charities. And I think sometimes that's a misconception. You've got to be Catholic or you've got to be religious. If you have a need, it doesn't matter. We just see the need, because we are Christian and Catholic, and we support those values. It's to be the church, outside of the church. And that's very important to us. And then, we strive, our major groups are our Hispanic women, our disaster recovery, and then anyone who falls in between with food needs. And we're building a financial workshop. We're launching another one in probably the end of January, so we're really excited about that. And then really hoping to put a kinship program on the ground. So family members that are raising children that they didn't necessarily give birth to, but they're their children and trying to do the right thing, but struggling along the way. Those are our people.
Great. And I was interested to hear about the financial literacy maybe workshops or the financial workshops that you all are doing.
Yes. They are really, really interesting. I love them because every group is a little different because it's all based on who is in our group. And our last group was amazing. We had this great group of older ladies. I don't want to call them old or elderly or anything like that, but they were awesome. They kept me on my toes. But they also offered so much to the class. We have a mixed demographic that comes in, and so it's really an experience of bringing strangers together and then leaving as friends and having that opportunity. So it's been a unique experience that we didn't really plan on doing, but it happened, and we have ran 3 groups now, and each one gets better. And it's all about your relationship with money and why we're so afraid to talk about it, and then it comes up and then it rolls into how to do the right things with your money. We all know what to do, but it's also having a place to come and talk about the struggle of doing that right thing, and taking some knowledge back with it. And so we've been able to offer incentives. We love to feed you guys, so we'll have lunch and all of that stuff. This coming group, we're going to have an amazing math professor from ECU who's going to jump on board with us, and just kind of help build this up and continue to grow so that we can all be more financially responsible. The great thing is I am no better with money than anybody else, and we all have the same struggle. So that is the place that we teach from.
Great. So I work for the city of Greenville, and I'm in the financial services department. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are taking into consideration the financial piece and how important it is for folks to have a good relationship with money. Great. So we're almost out of time. Would like for us to revisit how they can get in contact with you and where you're located.
So again, don't hesitate to give us a call. Our number is 252-355-5111. Our street address is 2780 Dickinson, and we're in Suite B, but just up the way from the North Carolina Lottery Office.
Well, thank you, Ms. McDowell. It has been a pleasure to speak with Ms. Liz McDowell of Catholic Charities of Greenville. She's been a blessing to us today to tell us a little bit about the ministry and what they do. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, this is the Community Insight Broadcast.